Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex.
I don't know, guys. That's that song just popped up in my head as soon as I hit play, and I just had to say it. Intrusive thoughts. I don't know. Maybe I'm ovulating. Anyway, continue to my. We're talking about Don Lemon and Elon Musk today. It's a serious conversation, a serious topic. Okay, so I guess the story came out a bit ago. I'm always late to the fucking party. Don Lemon, I guess, was going to open a platform or show with Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk was going to platform Don Lemon, kind of like Tucker Carlson when he got let go from Fox, and then Tucker Carlson had his own show. I guess it was going to be something like that. And then Don Lemon and Elon Musk had an interview, and I don't know if they had this interview before they made that agreement and then an interview came out later, or they had an interview after the agreement. I'm not really sure. Anywho, Don Lemon pissed off Elon Musk, and Elon Musk was like, you can go take your shit and fly, bitch. And then Don Lemon was, going out and said, oh my god, I pissed off Elon Musk. Oh my god, I exposed Elon Musk. The actual interview came out. Like, I don't know if I've actually seen the whole interview, but I've seen like clips of it, at least shorter clips and longer clips of the interview. There was a couple of things that came up in that interview, and I'm only going to talk about like two, and one of them is that Elon Musk basically said he's like against the sort of like diversity and inclusion or equity when it comes to hiring practices in businesses, and so am I. But the way that Don Lemon saw it, and I don't know if this is truly how Don Lemon feels, or if this is just a talking point from his tribe or his ideology or his brand of like, well, you're basically saying like, because his back up a little bit, Elon Musk said that lowering the standards of hiring practices just so you can have a diversity within the office or the business is going to harm people in the long run, in the long term, like in hospitals and pilots and police officers and firefighters, like, especially businesses that people, human beings, the civilians, like we rely on to save our lives. And so you shouldn't be lowering the standards so you can have more black and brown people, women or queer people, trans people, whatever. You should keep the standards the same. And so Don Lemon's perspective was that, so you're saying that these people only got in because of their skin color, and so you're saying that they're not smart enough to pass the standards to become these career professionals, that you're saying that only white men are smart enough, or something like that. Like, he was definitely twisting Elon Musk's words, because Elon Musk never said that. Like, he literally kept stating like over and over again, no, what I'm saying is I think the only thing that matters when it comes to getting a position or being promoted is your merits. That's it. Like, what you bring to the table, like how good you are at your job, what you bring to the business. That's the only thing that matters, is your work ethic and your merits and your smarts and your education and your intelligence, all that stuff. Like race, sex, gender, sexuality, religion should be completely cut out of the idea or whatever it takes for you to get hired, to get this position. That should not be a factor.
Listen, let's talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right, that's been a target of yours lately on X. There was a repost of Ben Shapiro. You claim that DEI is killing people. Specifically, you point to medicine. You claim that DEI programs are putting people at risk. Do you really believe this to be true? And what evidence do you have to support it?
What I was referring to there was that if we lower the standards for doctors, if the test for a doctor is lowered, then the probability of them making a mistake and killing someone is obviously going to be higher. If the standards for passing medical exams and becoming a doctor, or especially something like a surgeon, if the standards are lowered, then the probability that the surgeon will make a mistake is higher. They're making mistakes in their exam. They may make mistakes with people, and that may result in people dying.
Do you believe that people are dying because medical standards, DEI is causing medical standards to be lowered?
I believe that if we lower the standards for what it takes to become a doctor.
You're saying if we lower the standards, yes. But do you believe people are dying because the standards are being lowered?
I don't think that is yet an issue, but it could become an issue. So if the standards, like let's say, I think that particular thing was referring to surgeons. Let's say a surgeon in training is asked to do a series of operations under the supervision of a senior surgeon, and they get a bunch of those operations wrong. If that happens, and yet they are still approved to be a surgeon, the probability that someone will die, I think, at some point is high.
Okay, I understand that, but that's a hypothetical. That doesn't mean it's happening.
I didn't say it's happening.
You didn't say it was happening.
I said it will. I said if we lower standards, people will die.
But why respond to something or put something out there that has not happened? Because I could say,
Because I don't want it to happen. I think we don't want to lower standards. Very basically saying that if we lower standards for what it takes to become a board-certified surgeon, an oncologist, or something where the kind of disease we're talking about, if you make a mistake, causes someone to die, then more people will die than if we don't lower the standards. Therefore, we should not lower the standards.
But why do you think they're lowering the standards for minority doctors or women doctors, or?
That's what that article suggested, yes, at Duke University.
Okay. Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently less intelligent and less skilled than white male pilots?
No, I'm just saying that we should not lower the standards for them.
Okay.
There are significant cases where standards are lowered.
If you've made it this far, can you please like, comment, and subscribe? Please donate it to my PayPal so I can get a new camera battery, and you can super thanks. If you super thanks, I will mention your comment in the next video. The way I see it and the way Elon Musk saw it was, you can say that what someone is saying is that, oh, you're saying that the only reason why these people got hired was this color of their skin, or what's between their legs, or who they date or fuck. But how I see it is like, no, we're saying that we have enough faith in everybody, no matter, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your sex, your sexuality, your religion, that you have enough intelligence, you have enough merit, you have enough work ethic, that you can be hired solely based on that. It has nothing to do with your skin color. By saying that we need to include diversity and inclusion or equity, I forgot what it stands for, basically what you're saying is that black and brown people, women, queer people are not smart enough. They're not smart enough to get the job without considering their race, their sex, their sexuality, that they can't compete against their white counterparts without a hand up or a hand out from the government or from policy or from rules. Like, they can't get it on their own. That's how I see it when you say, well, their race and their gender should be a factor. No, I feel like the only thing should be a factor is who's the best for the job. If I'm flying a plane, I want to know in my head that you pick the best pilot for this plane, not the blackest or the queerest. If I'm getting heart surgery, is this the best surgeon, not the most POC, not the most POC person in the hospital? I don't care. Is it nice to see diversity? Is it nice to see yourself reflected in every aspect of society and life? Yes. But when it comes to my life depending on it, that is the least of my concerns. That is the least of my worries. I see it the way Elon Musk sees it. That, in my opinion, how I interpreted Elon Musk is, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter your skin color. You still can get the job if you have the merit and the right skills to get the job. The low expectations, the bigotry of low expectations with saying that the skin color, race, and sexuality and all that stuff should be a factor, you're saying that they're not smart enough to get it on their own, in my opinion. It's the same thing with affirmative action when it comes to university and colleges. So I totally agree with Elon Musk, but there are a lot of people who sees it the way that Don Lemon sees it. There was another part where Don Lemon said, well, basically saying that Elon Musk has a lot of privilege, and people can't move through life as well as Elon Musk can because he's white. And I noticed that Elon Musk kept lifting the eye and kind of being like, okay, because I think it's really disrespectful to tell someone, I don't care about what your individual lived experience is. I don't care what your individual life experience is. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what struggles you've been through. I don't care if you've been abused. I don't care if you've been hated on. I don't care. Simply because of the color of your skin, I'm going to dismiss all of that and just say you had an easy walking life. I think that's really condescending, and I think that's why Elon Musk I was raising. Elon Musk was privileged for sure, but Elon Musk definitely didn't have the easiest childhood. If you know anything about Elon Musk, it was pretty rough for him. So I think that's why Elon Musk I was raising there.
That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
But Elon Musk basically said, like, look, I don't think that we should have this precedence where someone can self-identify as a victim and they are a victim simply because they feel like a victim. Like, feelings change and feelings are not fact. And again, your perception can be that you're a victim, but perceptions can be wrong. And Don Lemon did concede to say, like, okay, yeah, there's some of that, but hey, there's still a lot of people that are truly oppressed and victimized.
If you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone. We are all descended from slaves.
Yeah,
well, all of us.
Yeah,
it's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
So But what future do we want? Is this something we want to make part of our constant dialogue forever? Or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows is that that's not what's actually in practice.
I think we're doing better than anywhere else.
That's true. There's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as slaves.
For me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making that the central thing, it will never go away.
Well, why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. So I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Do you have any desire to understand what many people of color and even trans people, how they feel about this country and how they're treated in this country? If they say and they believe that they are treated a certain way in this country, why don't you believe them?
You cannot have a situation where someone is a self-described victim and they just get to be that because that's how they feel.
I think that does happen in some cases, but not all cases. And I think that not understanding the history of the country, I think, is a real shame. Look, we should understand the history of the country and other countries. I've had incredible opportunities as a person of color.
Right.
But I've also been
very well.
But I've also been discriminated against, and I know that I have, and I know that that's real. And for someone to say that isn't happening, I should just move forward and not think about that and ignore the past is insulting.
I'm not saying it. Don, you keep putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying it.
I didn't say that you said it.
I'm saying that we as a country should move beyond questions of race and gender, and we should treat people like individuals and base our opinions on them on the, their character and their skills.
Again, I agree with Elon Musk. If you see yourself as a victim, that it's going to affect the way you move through life, that it's going to affect your performance in life, in all aspects of life, it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's immigrants that come over to America all the time and beast the fucking system. There are Indian exchange students that are graduating at the top of their class. There's African exchange students, black as fuck, graduating at the top of their class and becoming very successful in a business realm, becoming very financially successful, helping their entire family back at home in their home countries. So if you're saying that America is so racist that if you're black or brown, queer, trans, whatever, that you will be so oppressed that you won't have easy walk through life, or you won't get the same opportunities as a white person or a white counterpart. So then how do you explain the African immigrants or the Indian immigrants or the Middle Eastern immigrants that come over to America or come over to Europe or the West and completely take advantage of all the opportunities and become extremely successful? And I'm talking about the immigrants that usually come over here legally because usually they have a better start in life to move forward and become successful. When you come over illegally, usually you have to start from very bottom and basically poverty-stricken areas, and it's harder for you to climb to the top. Again, if you want to talk about anything that's being unbalanced or unequal, it's really social class and economic class, not race, skin, gender, sexuality, or anything like that. What frustrates me about people like Don Lemon, someone who is a black queer man, instead of setting your platform to a point where you can say, like, look, I got to this point, let me teach people who look like me, who fit my description, get to where I am, instead of constantly telling those same people, you can't do it. I did it, but you can't because the world is oppressing you. It's really, really annoying when they hear rhetoric like this because to me, in my opinion, is really, really damaging. That's basically it. That was my frustrations with Don Lemon. I enjoyed little bits that I saw of the interview. Again, I'm not sure if I saw the whole interview because the longest one I saw was like maybe 14 minutes. I don't know if that was an entire interview or not. It felt like it was the entire interview, but I'm not really sure. They hit on a bunch of other stuff, hate speech, free speech, blah, blah, blah. Don Lemon is very pro-censorship, even though he keeps saying he's not pro-censorship, even though he keeps saying that hate speech should not be on a platform. That's pro-censorship. I don't know if Don Lemon understands what censorship is or what freedom of speech is.
I don't think people should care what the media thinks about them. They're terrible judges of character.
You have any responsibility to the truth or moderating the platform?
You're conflating the truth with the media, and I think the media is not truthful.
Well, not with just the media. I mean, just the truth in general.
I care about the truth very much. That's why we have, for example, community notes on the system, where in order for a community note to surface and provide corrective information about what somebody posts, and my posts are equally subject to this. I've been community noted many times. In order for a community note to surface, people who have historically disagreed must agree in order for a community node to surface. And all of the code for community nodes is open source. All of the data is open source, so you can completely recreate it from scratch. The way to build trust is transparency.
Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform?
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law. We delete things if they are illegal.
But these have been up there for a while.
Are they illegal?
They're not illegal, but they're hateful.
But Don, you love censorship, is what you're saying.
No, I don't love censorship.
Then why are you asking?
I believe in moderation, but I don't believe in
censorship. Moderation is a propaganda word for censorship.
But don't you think free speech is one thing, right? Or not,
Look, if something's illegal, we're going to take it down. If it's not illegal, then we're putting our thumb on the scale and we're being censors.
You're putting your thumb on the scale for moderating hate speech. I mean, you don't put out child pornography. That's not...
It's illegal. I literally said, if something is legal, okay, we will obviously remove it.
Okay.
But if it is not legal, the laws in this country are put forward by the citizens. We're a democracy. If those laws are put in place by the people, we adhere to those laws.
Okay, I agree.
To the laws of others. If you go beyond the law, you're actually going beyond the will of the people. So if content is on the platform, that doesn't mean we promote it.
But that wouldn't be on a platform for mainstream media at all.
No, but you can think of that's because the mainstream media has like 20 articles a day. We have 500 million posts a day.
Okay,
500
understood.
million. What you're suggesting is censorship that goes beyond the law. And what I'm saying is that we, I guess, have a disagreement because I do not believe in censorship that goes beyond the law, and you do. We have a difference of opinion in that regard. So you can think of X as being, it's much like the internet. It's not some tiny publication with like 20 articles a day. It's 500 million.
But everyone has the opportunity to read it, Elon.
The opportunity to read the internet. Are you suggesting we should shut down the internet? Yes, you want censorship and I don't.
No, I don't want censorship at all.
Yes, you do.
No, I want responsibility. I think
You desperately want censorship.
No, if I want a censorship...
You want censorship so bad you can taste it.
No, that's not true. It's not true. I think that there's right and wrong.
And I think that you want censorship.
And I think that when you have a platform that's as big as yours and as powerful as yours and as influential as yours, and you are a person of consequence to the world with what you do, that there is a certain responsibility that goes along with what you have on your platform and what you put out to the world. And I think that's important. You don't see that responsibility.
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law, and if people want the law changed, they should talk to their elected representative and get the law changed, and then we will adhere to the law.
Okay.
But if you want us to go beyond the law, that is us deciding to be censors. And I'm against censorship. I'm in favor of freedom of speech.
There's no point of freedom of speech if you quiet speech that you don't like. Literally, there's no point of having that law, that freedom in America if you're gonna say, silence those I don't like. Silence those who say things that are ugly and gross and racist and bigoted and transphobic. Silence those people who say things I don't like. That's literally defeats the point of having freedom of speech. Like, seriously.
And freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no meaning.
Anyway, guys, tell me what you think of the Don Lemon and Elon Musk interview and the things I said in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guy. I know I keep shaking this table. Apologize for that. You can donate. I have a PayPal and Cash App link in the description box below. If you can super thanks. If you super thanks with a comment, I'll read it in the next video. And you guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Bye.
If you moderated yourself more, if there was better content moderation on the platform, that you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters.